We've had 6 months of anticipation. As this video gets released, it's 2 days until members of the general public, such as myself, will start receiving the Apple Vision Pro. And I think this is going to provide some really new opportunities for photographers, both on the technical side and with our businesses. I think it's interesting to look at it through the mindset we need to be looking at it through right now. And there's going to be some snafus. We'll talk about what went wrong when I tried to order my prescription inserts. Let's dive in. This isn't a full review. I'm going to link to a few of my favorite ones down below, but I haven't had the device in my hands yet, but I've got a lot of thoughts on how exciting it's going to be for photographers, and there's going to be a lot more of that on the channel in the coming weeks. So as I look at photography, I want to talk about 4 specific things that I think photographers are going to find as possibilities with the Vision Pro. One that I'm really excited about is using that spatial computing environment for photo editing. I think about Photoshop and other similar photo editors, and it feels like we can never have enough screen real estate, right? We all have big monitors and wish they were bigger. An app like Photoshop has, lots of tool palettes and things like that. And with the Vision Pro, either on its own or using it as a virtual monitor for my Macintosh, I'm looking forward to photo editing in the size of my room. That's going to be pretty cool. And beyond just having a really big monitor, I also think about how Adobe, Skyloom, Capture One, other software vendors might start embracing the spatial computing platform to give us new gestures, interface elements, things like that are going to replace the traditional or supplement the traditional keyboard and mouse that we use. Instead of moving a slider to adjust our image, what if I could raise my hand up and down? What if I can make it brighter by using some sort of a gesture to the interface that it can interpret? There's a lot of possibilities here. I'm pretty excited about it. One thing kind of on a light note that I'm excited about is looking at panoramic photos in that wide view. I shoot some panoramas. I know that I'm going to shoot more in the future once I have my Vision Pro, because what I've seen and what I've heard is that panoramic photos look amazing. If we look at the business side of photography and we look at how the Vision Pro might impact that, we talk about in-person sales. And there's apps like ProSelect now that'll allow us to take a photo of someone's home and create a virtual projection or virtual presentation of what images might look like at different sizes in that person's environment. That's great. That's a 2D photo. What if we can do that in 3D now with a spatial video of their environment and could have a way to put different products into that environment through the Vision Pro? The other thing I would talk about related to spatial video is that that's a new product photographers could start offering to their clients. Many photographers have started doing video work in addition to still photography, and spatial video work is another angle on that. Now, at first, definitely this is a high-end product that's probably going to be mostly owned by a high-end clientele. But are you a photographer that wants to sell to a high-end clientele? If you are, the fact that you can do spatial video might be something that helps set you apart amongst some of your peers. It's something to consider, because that high-end nature of this and the early adopter nature of it means that we need to look at it with that mindset. So we have to acknowledge that right now, the Apple Vision Pro is an early adopter product. It's launching to consumers. People in the general public can buy it, but the reality is most won't do that. It's a kind of a new generation, a new computing platform with spatial computing. And yes, there have been AR, VR headsets before, but much like when Apple introduced the iPhone, this really is likely to kind of reboot the category and take things in a different direction. So you have to look at it as an early adopter product right now. This is not something that I think everybody needs to rush out and get. This is something I think every photographer should be thinking about. It should be on your radar. One of the things keeping a lot of people away right now is the high price, which, yeah, it's not cheap. It starts at $3,500, goes up to about $4,000, depending on the options that you need. But it's really not that expensive if you're looking at this as an early adopter product. The Macintosh, when it was introduced, was $2,500, which if you account for inflation and the value of the dollar, that's over $7,000 now. So, well, $3,500 is a lot compared to a smartphone. It's half the price of the original Macintosh. And from what I can tell, there are plenty of people that are eager to pay that price to get in early and see what we can do. One of the things I would encourage you not to do is don't get locked into your preconceived notions with this device. And as you read product reviews in the coming weeks, if a reviewer really wants to pursue a certain angle, they're going to find that angle in their review. If they want to talk about the weight of the device or the fact it has a tethered battery, or the fact that they think it's going to be revolutionary in a good way. If they go in with too many preconceived notions, those are going to show up in reviews. I'm trying to be open-minded. I've got some ideas. You heard some of them already. I'm going to talk about more of them. But I'm also realizing that as a new platform, we don't know where this is going to go. I'm thinking about it a lot like the design squiggle, which I'll put up on screen here, and you can take a look at. The design squiggle came from Damien Newman, and the idea is that this squiggle represents the design process. On the left, as it starts out, you're kind of in the research phase. Everything's a mess. It's going here and there. Then things start to form into a concept. You have a better idea of where you're going. And then as you move towards the right side, things even out, they calm down, you come up with your design. And I think we're going to see this same kind of a mess with the Apple Vision Pro, Vision OS software, and related accessories. Right now, it's kind of chaotic. We don't know what all people are going to do with it. Things will get clearer over time. The other frame that I like to put on this is that this is a specialized tool. I don't think it's going to replace everybody's computers. But photographers already use specialized tools for certain purposes. A lot of us use a Wacom tablet or another pen input tablet when we do our photo editing and we're looking in Photoshop or our editor of choice. When we need to do fine retouching, we use a specialized tool for that. A lot of people use something like a Loop Deck or a Stream Deck to give them physical interface buttons in lieu of moving software sliders around on the screen. Are those devices for everyone? No. Are they invaluable to the people who set them up and get a lot of use out of them? Certainly. And the other thing I think we have to look at with the Apple Vision Pro is it's going to have some bumpy spots, like getting my prescription lenses was. Let's talk a little bit about that experience. I wear glasses, and as an eye-covered product, the Vision Pro needs to, be able to be seen, right? If you wear contacts, you're golden. You can just keep wearing your contacts. The device will sit right on top. You're fine. But if you wear eyeglasses, either prescription lenses or just reading glasses, Apple has partnered with Zeiss to offer inserts that fit into the Vision Pro at 3 different levels of reading magnification or with a custom prescription. And the process was pretty straightforward when I ordered my device, said that I needed a prescription. All was good. I uploaded a prescription because I knew I was going to be doing this. I actually had just gotten an eye exam and an updated prescription a couple weeks prior. I uploaded my prescription and it said, we're going to verify this. You'll hear from us just once we confirm we've got it. All was good until an email arrived a few hours later, telling me that Apple and Zeiss were canceling my prescription insert order because they were unable to create inserts that matched my prescription. Now, I didn't think my eyes were that bad, but apparently I'm out of the parameters for what's available right now. So I had an appointment at the Apple store the next day because I'd broken my iPhone. So while I was there, I was talking to the Apple Genius. I said, hey, is there anybody here who can talk to me more about the prescription situation with the Vision Pro? Because if I'm close, If I can get it close enough might be good enough. He admitted that the folks in the store didn't really know that much at the time, but he suggested I call Apple, and so I did that a couple times. The first time I called, I got transferred to the Vision Pro team, talked to somebody who helpfully told me that they didn't have the information, but they were going to transfer me over to Zeiss, and I could talk with them. I got transferred over to Zeiss. I went through a crazy phone tree. I ended up leaving a voicemail, and I never heard back. I ended up calling Apple back a few days later. It's like, try again. Talked to someone else who was helpful. I told them about the previous experience, and they said, well, we need to get you over to Zeiss, but I can stay on the call with you, make sure it's a warm handoff, and they can help you out. So they did that, transferred me over to Zeiss. I spent 35 minutes on the phone with a Zeiss representative who, after 35 minutes, was unable to tell me what the parameters were for the types of lenses that they could make for the Vision Pro. The best advice that they could give me was to go to an online tool that Zeiss provides, that Apple links to, and I'll drop the link down below as well, where you can put in your prescription information and it will tell you yes or no as to whether or not they can make Apple Vision Pro inserts for you. It doesn't tell you why they can't, if they can't. So I experimented around with those numbers, and I was able to figure out that if I tweaked one of the values in my prescription just a little bit, it said I was good to go. Now, would my regular optometrist write me a prescription that wasn't really what she thought my prescription should be? I don't know. I didn't actually pursue that route. I went down a different route that I know some other folks have been doing. They use a service called Visibly, which does an online vision test and prescription. I'll drop a link down below. But with that, I was able to do that process, get a prescription that fit within the parameters that said it would work, reordered the optical inserts, and this time I got a happy email about a couple hours later saying that they verified everything and they would be shipping those out. So as a result, my Vision Pro will be here on the 2nd. My inserts won't be here till the 7th. We'll see how things are for that first 5 days. I expect that I'm not going to have a super great experience, but, my eyes aren't that terrible. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about the possibilities. I know I'm going to have more Vision Pro content here. So if you're not already subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. Like this video, of course, share it with your friends. I'm going to have more Vision Pro content here for tech photographers, for early adopters. Will it live up to the hype? Will it live up to the disappointment that some are expecting? I don't know, but we're going to find out soon. Until we do, take care.